At midnight, Lynn saw a brightly lit house inside an abandoned village. 6 women moved around its courtyard while an elderly couple watched from 2 wooden chairs. Then Lynn's phone rang. Before the first ring had finished, everyone inside turned toward him at exactly the same time. Moments later, the light was gone. The house was once again the roofless ruin he had passed that afternoon. Lynn had come to the mountain with 4 friends for a weekend hike. Beyond the lower ridge, there were no marked trails and almost no phone signal. Before noon, clouds covered the mountain and thunder began behind the trees. May remembered an abandoned village less than a mile away. No one had lived there for decades, but a few houses were still standing. They reached it just as the rain started. Broken tiles covered the lanes. Weeds grew through doorways, and several houses had collapsed. They found one building with most of its roof intact and went inside. The rain continued after dark. With the path soaked, they decided to stay until morning. They ate, talked for a while, then spread their sleeping bags across the dusty floor. Sometime after midnight, thunder woke Lynn. He took his phone and flashlight and stepped outside to use the bathroom. The rain had stopped, but water still dripped from the roofs. As Lynn walked back, he heard several women laughing farther down the lane. A house that had been dark and partly collapsed that afternoon was now glowing with warm yellow light. Lynn switched off his flashlight and moved closer. Through a gap in the wall, he saw 6 young women walking in a slow circle. They wore long dresses that looked decades out of date. There was no music, but their steps followed the same rhythm. Near the center, an elderly man and woman sat side by side on 2 wooden chairs. Lynn wondered whether local people were holding a private gathering, but he saw no lamps, cables, bags, or vehicles. Part of the roof was missing, and rainwater still covered the floor. He stayed behind the wall and watched. The women kept moving. The elderly couple remained still. Then Lynn's phone rang. The dancers stopped. Before the first ring ended, all 6 women turned toward the gap in the wall. The elderly couple turned with them. No one searched for the sound. Every face was already fixed on the exact place where Lynn stood. A woman near the doorway spoke. "Who is outside?" Lynn stepped back. For several seconds, no one moved. Then the elderly woman slowly raised one hand and pointed toward the wall. Lynn ran. Lightning flashed before he reached the next house. He looked back. The windows were dark. There were no voices and no people in the courtyard. Half the front wall had collapsed, and most of the roof was missing. Weeds and broken wood covered the place where the dancers had been. May found Lynn in the lane. She had called after waking and noticing that he was gone. Lynn told her he had slipped in the mud. He waited until sunrise before telling the others what he had seen. The 5 hikers returned to the house together. In daylight, the courtyard looked smaller than Lynn remembered. They found no lamps, clothing, or fresh footprints. Beneath the weeds near the middle were 2 broken chair frames. Lynn thought they were close to where the elderly couple had been sitting, though he could not be sure. One friend suggested that Lynn had noticed the chairs in the darkness and imagined the rest after waking suddenly. Lynn wanted to believe him, but when the phone rang, Lynn had not looked toward the chairs first. The elderly couple had already been looking at him. The group left the mountain without finishing the hike. Lynn still camps, but he no longer enters abandoned villages, even during daylight. He says he has forgotten most of the dancers' faces and the voice from the doorway. What he remembers is the first ring of his phone and every head in the courtyard turning before it ended. Subscribe to Mistcurrent Stories for more unexplained encounters, strange local legends, and mysteries with no clear answer.